Here in America, a majority of our food comes from highly processed foods. And actually some studies show that it can get up to about 60% of our diet. It's been linked to actually cause a number of different health issues in our body, such as heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. And so today what I want to go ahead and do is go over some of the reasons why highly processed foods are bad for you, but then also some of the things that you can actually start to do to improve your eating habits. The first reason why highly processed foods are bad for you is because it lacks nutritional value. Many of these foods have been stripped of its original nutrients, which makes these foods empty calories. It doesn't provide the nourishment that your body needs. And so a lot of the vitamins, the fibers, and the minerals have actually been removed from these foods, which doesn't allow the food to provide the ability for your body to recover, focus, and maintain energy, because a lot of those vitamins and nutrients have been stripped from the food already. The second reason why these foods are so bad for us is because they're high calorie foods. And so all the fat, the sodium, and then the sugar makes these foods jam-packed with calories. And so the chips, the pizza, the french fries, and all the other highly processed foods have all of the calories but none of the nutrition. And so that makes for a unhealthy and an obese society. And one of the last reasons why these foods are so bad for you is because they're so addicting. A lot of times these foods are packaged and designed so that it actually looks better, it smells better, and actually even tastes better, because the artificial flavoring and all the coloring that they actually put into it, it's so that it looks more appealing, so that you can actually order more of the food, you actually eat more of the food, and you crave more of the food as well. And so it triggers the dopamine centers in the brain so that you actually feel better, but that you actually crave the food as well. So now that we've already gone over some of the reasons why highly processed foods are bad for us, I want to go over 3 ways that you can actually use to develop better eating habits. Tip number 1 is keep it out of the house. We're creatures of habit, and we oftentimes go on autopilot. So if we go into the kitchen and we open the pantry and we see chips or cookies, oftentimes we're going to actually eat what's available to us. So the best way to make it easier for you is to actually not allow that type of food in the house in the first place. Now, I know it's difficult if you have multiple people living in the same house, but what's probably not healthy for you is probably not healthy for them as well. So if you can start to educate people and start to get them on the same page and start to get rid of a lot of the unhealthy options in the house and start to replace that with things that you know are better options for you, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to make healthier decisions, because if you're on autopilot and you open up the pantry and you see the healthier options in front of you, most likely you're going to end up eating that stuff because it's available, instead of having to go out of your way and eating some of the stuff that you know it's not healthy for you. Tip number 2 is to shop smart. We've all heard that saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Create a grocery list before you go shopping and spend some time thinking about what you're going to be eating instead of just winging it. I promise you're going to save a lot of time, but then also you're going to save yourself a lot of regret. Try to avoid grocery shopping in the center aisles. Oftentimes, you're going to find a lot of the fresh produce and the foods on the outside of the store. It's because it requires more energy to keep those things nice and cool, but also to keep those foods nice and fresh as well. A lot of times they jam-pack the center of the aisles with a lot of the highly processed foods, because a lot of times those types of foods can last days, even months, and even possibly even years. And so if you spend more time on the outside of the grocery store, you're probably going to be making better food selections for your health. And the last thing you can do to shop smart is don't go grocery shopping on an empty stomach. If you are hungry and your brain is triggered to grab something quick, at that point we're prone to eat a lot of those unhealthy processed foods. So if you eat beforehand, that's actually going to get you on the right foot to actually make better decisions while you're grocery shopping. And the last tip in order to eat healthy is the 80-20 rule. I understand we live in America, and that means that we have a lot of unhealthy foods and snacks in front of us. And so oftentimes what I recommend is, instead of eliminating them, is just starting to work on reducing them. If you're eating chips for dinner, just make sure it's a very small portion of your meal, and 80% of your food that you're eating is actually highly nutritious foods. We don't live in a bubble, but what we can start to do is make responsible decisions and healthier choices in what we eat. And that's it. If you follow the tips and advice in this video, you're going to be more likely to eat healthier. And if I can give you one more piece of advice, is to be patient with yourself. You might stumble, you might fall, but that doesn't mean you messed up. It just means you have to get back up and you have to try to continue to be healthier. And so one of the things I want to make sure that you understand is that it's not what you do one time, but it's what you do on a consistent basis that determines the future of your health. So I hope that helped you. If you like this video, please click that like button, subscribe to our channel so that you can see all the videos that we push out in terms of just health tips and different adjustment videos. And we'd love to hear your feedback, so comment below. We'd love to hear from you to see what your thoughts are and how you actually stay healthy by eating healthier foods as well.